You must build a 5-story building. And this is how you get your wealth and power. Now, the first thing you work on is economics. You started practicing group economics, making your money bounce in your own community 8 to 12 times before it leaves. The second floor is politics. Our people got that backwards. They want to get into politics before they get in the economy. Backwards as hell. You won't make it. You buy every politician with the money you made on the first floor. The third floor is your court system, your police system. You control the court system so they won't be getting 40 years in jail for having marijuana. Then the fourth floor is media. You take your money off the first floor and you buy media. Black folk own 35 thousandths of 1% in media. You don't own media, you can't communicate, you can't organize, you can't motivate. The fifth floor is education. Education is a tool, just like a hammer and a saw. But you got to have an economy. See, when a kid graduates from school, the first thing you do, he should be able to go back to his own community and start building businesses and industries and drawing money into his community and hold it.
Here it is, Tuesday. Thank you for tapping in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time you are watching. Have a great day, or I hope you've had a great day. Thank you. This is Brian H. Rap B. Williams. This is Rapping with H. Rap. Basically, every day I come on, drop a little information that I think is beneficial to my community so we can destroy the lies and propaganda around our community and create unity and propagate a family environment and build our community to its most powerful yet. Thank you to my parents, Dolores and John. Without them, there is no podcast. Without me, there is no podcast, and so forth and so on. Thank you for tapping in. It is important that you do so. Once you tap in, no matter what time of the day, it is imperative. Please, if you're watching, hit like or dislike, but hit like, share it with friends if you deem this information pertinent. Thank you. Today's episode is called Last Round. The reason I'm calling it the last round is because as I've started this new mission, I've noticed that we're seeing things on social media, we're seeing things on the news, and we're seeing a great divide in the country. As I stated yesterday, the country had literally told us, hey, that's your business. Don't include me. Deal with the consequences of having President-elect Donald Trump. And this was a clarion call to our community. It should have let us know immediately we have nobody to depend on but ourselves. A lot of people say we will never support each other, but I have shown throughout my mission with this podcast that we will support anything that's in front of us that is by us. Everything that has been put in front of us, we have supported, from fashion to movies to plays to music to and all other forms of entertainment. We made boxing popular because of Jack Johnson and Joe Louis. We made baseball popular when it stopped apartheid baseball in the United States of America. Football is the most popular game, not because it's a great game, it's because we made it great, and so forth and so on. Some of the greatest movies in the history of cinema, we starred in. So the reason I'm calling it last call is this. It's the end of the year, and this has been thrust upon us because we put faith in other communities to make sure we will be safe. We know now it's on us. It always has been on us. We should have always known it, but there's no doubt about it at this point. We don't have any vitriol or anger towards anyone, but we must basically lock arms and moving forward and put this situation in the best possible way. Now, the reason of last call, we are, I think, a week or 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. We are about a month away from Christmas, or 6 weeks away from Christmas and New Year's. What I want to do, this is why it's the last call. You have people throughout this country who depend on the Black community. They've been living off 2 incomes for the very longest time. We put a ton of money in grocery stores. We put a ton of money in travel agencies. We put a ton of money in the Greyhound bus company, the Amtrak train company, and all the aforementioned means of transportation. I haven't mentioned them, but the airlines, all of the airlines, because we go visit our families and we propagate towns, cities, visiting things, and we immerse ourselves in this American dream. Let's make this the last call for that. And why do I want to make it the last call? Because these things are not important to us. The United States holidays are not important to the Black community. Because if you read the contract between the citizens of the United States of America and the Black community, we were excluded. We're 3/5 of a human, which, to quote the great Malcolm X, that makes us about cattle, sheep, and other farm animals to be bought, sold, and controlled. So we don't need to jump to the defense. Black Friday, we need a new TV. No, we don't. We don't need new televisions. We don't need anything. I suggest to us that we as a community start living off needs instead of wants. Would you like to treat yourself with wants from time to time? I would suggest you do, because you don't want to live in a world where you're just working to pay bills. But every month, just about every month, and if I just rattle them off, you'll see. November, we're giving money to the grocery stores for Thanksgiving and the aforementioned travel amenities. Christmas, we're buying all kinds of things, from computers to televisions to cars, clothing, and so forth and so on. Also, giving money to grocery stores to make sure that they survive, and restaurants, mind you. New Year's Day, we start off the year giving away money for a party. February, we have Valentine's Day. March, St. Patrick's Day, which, while we celebrate that in the first place, then you have Easter in April. May, you have Mother's Day. June, you have Father's Day. 4th of July, back to school sales. Labor Day, celebrating the end of the summer. Halloween, and here we are. That's why this needs to be the last call. If you are going to affect our health by removing the Affordable Care Act, if you're going to affect our mental states by moving the same thing, a lot of people will be laid off. Bonuses have already been suspended, and in the wake of these aforementioned tariffs by the next president. While we participating and supporting other entities in the United States of America, it's time for us to stop. We don't have to embrace these things. Now, if you just have to do these things, make sure you download, as I gave you, 5 calls apps to get in contact with people in Congress, people in your county, people in your state government, your city government, or what have you. Here's another app I want you to download, Official Black Wall Street. It identifies every Black business in the United States of America. Wherever you are, there are Black businesses that you could pour your dollars into. At the top of the show, you see Dr. Claude Anderson. He speaks about how money needs to bounce 10 to 12 times, meaning it needs to hit 10 or 12 different Black people before it leaves the Black community. I would like to see it 15 to 25. The reason it's going 15 to 25, because we really don't need it to leave our community at all. Most of us, we are not living in a situation to whereas we can afford those things. What we want to do is find luxury items that are created by Black people. We don't have a car company yet, but hey, what makes you have to have a brand new car every so often? We don't have to. What we need to do is invest in us and only us. Let's make this 2024 the last call for giving away our money with no return. That's why you need to download the 5 calls app. That's why you need to download the Official Black Wall Street app, the Official Black Wall Street, so you can make that money circulate. The 5 calls app is to ensure that we don't need control of the government, but what we do need is the protection of the Constitution to protect us from the tyranny of white nationalists, the tyranny of rogue police officers acting like cowboys because they know they fall up under the protection of the United States federal and state governments and things of that nature. So you won't have to go to 3 or 4 different hospitals. That's what something like the 1965 Civil Rights Act, that's why that was created. So hospitals can't deny you service. Doctors can't do what they want to do and without falling to being subjected to penalty. This is all we need the government for. It's enough of us to take our dollars, invest in each other, and move forward. We have to put ourselves in a situation to whereas we support each other. If we don't support us, why should anyone else do it? Holidays like Thanksgiving, they do us no good. We can create our own Thanksgiving. How can you create your own Thanksgiving, you may ask? The way you do it is we can identify a date of our own. Like I would suggest something like a Remembrance Day. What is that? That's the first weekend of June. The first weekend of June, we can come together just like we do for Thanksgiving. We're tropical people. We love the warm weather. We can come together, almost a family reunion environment, and introduce our younger people to the elders, as well as the people who have transitioned to the other side, and the dishes that they used to cook, the memories that we cherish about those people. We can do that nationwide. Go to Black grocery stores, sit out in the park, or at a designated area, just like Thanksgiving. It'll be a warm day. You can get you some vitamin D. Put yourself in a family or communal situation so we can reintroduce our children to the past. The reason you want to reintroduce your children to the past is because the past is paramount. Why is the past paramount? Because if you look at history, you'll see it is an ongoing cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. Whether you use a 0 or 8, it's always coming around. 100 years ago, we had the we had the Red Summer, where white nationalists attacked our communities, border to border, coast to coast. Look it up, the Red Summer. You also, 104 years ago, you saw this, a pandemic called the Spanish flu. We just saw COVID-19. And if you continue to look, white nationalists, you see it on the news yesterday in Columbus, Ohio, walking through the streets of Columbus, Ohio, waving a Nazi flag saying, N-words, go home. This is the re-up and the rebirth of hate against us. But we have more power, we have more influence, we have more money. All we need to do is reunify and put ourselves in a position of protection. Look, if you continue to introduce your children to the past, what it does is make them stronger and more equipped to do the things that they need to do in the future. You can never slack. You will always have to work harder, because what you're doing, as I stated yesterday, we're no longer asking our children, what are you going to do when you grow up? How are you going to make the community better when you grow up? So you'll have children striving to be doctors, lawyers, software engineers, people who repair things, plumbers, carpenters, and everything that we need in our community, so we don't have to leave outside of our community to advance our community. These are the things that every other community does to ensure the success of that community. Seeing how we're the largest individual community in the United States of America, contrary to that 13% crap that's been 13% since 1961. So I don't know how our community hasn't grown. But if you look at it, as I state every show, if it's 60 million 58 million Germans in Germany, not even 40 million French people in France, not even 30 million English in England, and less than 25 million Irish people in Ireland. And it's documented 45 to 50 million of us in the United States of America, not even mentioning the people who don't participate in the census program. Why is it that we need anyone? We don't have to hate anyone. We don't have to do anything but love each other and love ourselves. This is why I'm asking us to step away from white nationalism and the greatest tool of white nationalism, capitalism. With that being said, I'll talk to you tomorrow. This your man H-Rap, 2 fingers, 1 word.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why